Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is channel about knitting and I'm Dasha. In this video I'm gonna show you how to knit this beautiful headband. I have it in two colors, green and red. It is two-side headband. From this side it looks like this, and from the other side it looks like this. It is warmer than the usual headband because, as you can see, it increases in width and so it covers a big part of your head. And we will have here open edge. That's why the sewing from both sides looks really great and not visible at all. From this side it looks like this, and from the other side it looks like this. So you can vary it both sides depending on your mood. Written description of this headband you can find on my blog. The link will be under the video. Let's start, guys. You will need, guys, below instruments and materials. So first of all, I used yarn Drops Alaska 100% wool, and it is color number 45, and the red one it is color number 11 if you want to use the same color. And this yarn has below characteristics. So they propose needles of 5 millimeters, but I used needles size 4 millimeters because I like to knit freely, not to really control the gauge, and I can reach it by taking lower sizes. I could take also a size of 3 millimeters and it would be absolutely fine. So you just knitting very relaxed and don't bother about the gauge. So you take such size of needles that the density of knitting is dense enough for you, and there are no too many holes because otherwise it won't be warm enough because the wind will be blowing through those holes. Okay. Also, you will need some yarn of different color and maybe even different quality. So I had some merino yarn for the chain, which we will do by hook, and we will use it in order to have open edge, and we will sew it at the end. So as I already mentioned, I used needles with the size 4 millimeters. My favorite brand currently is KnitPro Zing. Also, you will need a hook to make a chain for open edge. It is of the same size as needles, and it is also KnitPro Zing. Also, you will need wool needles to sew the headband at the end. And of course, you will need some measuring tape and a pair of scissors. I will leave for you links in the description for the places where you approximately can find the same yarn and the same instruments if you want to use also the same instruments as I did. We will start, guys, with the crocheting of basic chain in order to have open edge, which we will use later for cast on of stitches. So first stitch I will do like this. And drag it inside. Okay, now I have first stitch. Put it on the hook. I will make a chain of a little bit more stitches than I need for headband. So on headband I will cast on 19 stitches, so here I will do a chain of 27 stitches just to have enough for sure stitches. So I do one yarn over and drag it inside the first stitch. One more time. Okay, next one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do crochet freely, because do not drag it too much, that it is loose. Okay, and so on until you will have 27 stitches. I have already the basic chain. Now I will just, so I crocheted, I crocheted 27 stitches, and now I will just cut the yarn. Okay. Now, as you can see from this side, this chain looks like a cable. So we turn it on the other side where it looks actually like a chain. And we will need those small stitches which are in the middle of this chain. We will drag inside the main yarn using a hook. We have to drag inside 19 stitches. So I found somewhere here first stitch of the chain, and I drag inside the main yarn. Okay, 1, now the next one. stitch I put inside the hook and I drag inside the yarn, the main yarn. Okay, second stitch, next one, and I drag inside the yarn. Okay, 3 stitches I have. Next one here, and I drag inside the yarn. Okay. I have now 4 stitches and so on. You will have to drag in such a way until you will have 19 stitches, and we will meet with you at that moment with 19 stitches. Okay guys, so I have on the hook now 19 stitches, and if you turn it, you must have here this cable with additional yarn. Now we have to move all the stitches on the needles with which you're gonna knit. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the last one. Okay, I have all the stitches on the needles now. And now we can start knitting. First row. I knit Slavic method. I have first videos on my channel where I show how I knit and how I purl, but I like to show it once again in every video, so you have everything in one video. So I'll explain it to you once again now. First stitch, this is edge stitch, we won't knit it at the beginning of the row always. So we just move it to the right needle. And now first 2 stitches we're gonna purl. So we move yarn on the front side of the project, so it is in front of you. And now first stitch, so you have front side of the stitch and back side of the stitch which you don't see. So we stick needle in the front side of the stitch, we pick up yarn and drag it inside and release. That's all. This was first purl stitch. And now second stitch, also we have to purl it. So again, we stick needle in the front side of the stitch, we pick up yarn, drag it inside and release. Next stitch we have to knit. In this case we have to stick needle in the back side, of the stitch. And sorry, I forgot to tell you that the yarn we have to move it now in the front side of the project, so behind the needles. So we stick needle into the back side, of the stitch, we pick up yarn, just pick up yarn, drag it inside and release. Now again 2 purl stitches and then again 1 knit stitch. So we moved yarn in the front of the project. We stick needle in the front side of the stitch, pick up yarn, drag it inside and release. 1 more purl stitch. And now 1 knit stitch, yarn is behind the needles. Stick needle in the back side of the stitch, pick up yarn, drag it inside and release. Now, and so on, 2 purl stitches, 1 knit stitch. And you do like this until the end of the row. One knit, 2 purl, 1 knit, sorry, 2 purl, 1 knit, 2 purl, and the last stitch, it doesn't matter which row it is, we will always purl it. So it is also edge stitch. We have 2 edge stitches always. And we purl it. So we have the first row. Now we're gonna turn the project and knit the second row. In the second row, where we knit in the first row, now those stitches we're gonna purl, and those stitches which we purled in the first row, now we're gonna knit them. So here last 2 stitches we purled, so now we're gonna knit them. But the first stitch, it is edge stitch, we don't do anything with it, just move it on the needle. So in this row we will knit 2 stitches and purl 1 stitch, knit 2 stitches and purl 1 stitch, knit 2 stitches and purl 1 stitch, knit 2 and purl 1, purl and knit 2, purl 1, knit 2, purl and knit 2 stitches, and the last one edge stitch, we, as you remember, purl it always, so we purl it. So we have already 2 rows, and you're gonna repeat like this. So next 3rd row we will again purl 2 stitches, knit 1 stitch, purl 2 stitches, knit 1 stitch. And you can see already in the pattern that where you have like a small cable, you have to knit here, and between those cable you have to purl. So the third row you will purl 2 purl 1 knit, and again a fourth row you will 2 knit 1 purl, and so on. Knit like this until you will have 8 centimeters long, and we will meet with you at that moment. Okay guys, I have already 8 centimeters knitted. Okay, I have 8, but now we will have to do increases, and increases we will do from the back side of the project, and I have now front side of the project, so I will knit 1 more row, and I advise you to do the same if you finished like me on the front side of the project. If you are on the back side already, so just wait until I will knit 1 more row to have the back side of the project. And the last stitches. And the last one, purl. So now I have back side of the project, and I can start increases. We will add 6 stitches between each pair of knit stitches. So between each cable, these 2 knit stitches, we will add 1 stitch, and at the end we must have 19 plus 6, so 25 stitches. Okay, first stitch we just move it. Now first knit stitch we just knit, and now we are adding 1 stitch. We do 1 yarn over in such way, so from the left to the right, because if you will do it like this from the right to the left, you will have a big hole then. And if you do it from the left to the right, you see it is already looks like closed stitch. So from the left to the right, 1 yarn over, or I would say from the back to front. And now we have knit stitch, so we just knit it. One purl stitch. Again, a pair of 2 knit stitches, so first stitch we knit, then we add 1 stitch, and then we again knit 1 stitch. So first knit stitch I just knit, now 1 yarn over from the back to front, like this. Oh, sorry, 1 stitch is escaping. Okay, so I added 1 more stitch. This stitch I just knit. Now purl, and again knit stitch, 1 yarn over from the back to front, knit stitch, purl stitch, again knit stitch, yarn over, knit stitch, purl stitch, knit stitch, one yarn over, knit stitch, purl stitch, again knit stitch, and again add in the last stitch, one yarn over, knit stitch, and the last edge stitch with purl. I will calculate now stitches. We must have 25 stitches. So 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25. So all is correct. Now we turn our project. We have now a front side of the project, and every added stitch we will purl like we have it in the pattern. So first one we just move, and now we have to purl 3 stitches. 1. Here you see this is that added stitch, so here pick up this stick needle into the front side of the stitch, pick up yarn and drag it inside and release, and again purl stitch. Now knit stitch, again 3 purl stitches, 1 yarn over, we purl, and so on. And last stitches. That's all. Now you continue like always, where you see a purl stitch you purl, where you see a knit stitch you knit. So here you will have now pattern of 3 knit stitches and 1 purl stitch from the back side, and from the front side you will have now pattern of 3 purl stitches and 1 knit stitch, and so on. Continue like this until you will have 14 centimeters where we will do next increases. So see you on 14 centimeters. Okay guys, I knitted already until 19 centimeters. Sorry, 14 centimeters. And I am on the back side of the project, exactly like it should be. Now we will add next 6 stitches in the same manner like I showed you before. First stitch we don't need, and now we have 3 knit stitches. First one I will just knit, and now after each first knit stitch I will add again additional stitch. So like this. I added 1 stitch, and now the next 2 stitches I knit. Now purl stitch, again first stitch I knit, now I add one stitch, and now I knit next 2 stitches, here purl stitch, and so on until the end of the row. I added already 6 stitches, now you must have 31 stitch. And now on the front side of the project, those stitches which you added, like this one, you will just purl them as I told you before. And you continue to knit according to the pattern until 19 centimeters, where we will do the last adding of 6 stitches. Okay guys, I have now 19 centimeters knitted, and I'm on the back side. So now we have to do the last increase of stitches. We will add again 6 stitches after first knit stitch, for example, like we did previously, and on the front side we will again knit them as purl stitches, and we continue to knit normally according to the pattern until the middle of the headband. My middle of the headband is 25.5 centimeters, and my size of head is 57 centimeters. So if you have, for example, less, if your size of head is less, I propose you to knit until 24 centimeters, for example, and try it on yourself, the headband, that it covers, if it covers already the half of your head, it is enough. Don't do until 25.5. And so your middle will be at the 24 centimeters. And I will just explain you later how you can recalculate what other steps you have to do if you stopped, for example, on 24 centimeters, not like me on 25.5. So until now, knit until the middle of the headband. For me, it is 25.5 centimeters. Okay, guys, I have already knitted 25.5 centimeters until the middle. So it is the exact middle of the headband. I'm gonna show it. Okay, so I have 25.5 centimeters, and on the middle of the headband I put it marker. You should do like this as well. It will be easier for you to finish the headband. And now we will knit. We're not gonna add or decrease any stitches. We will continue in just knitting in the same pattern until 32 centimeters. And I want to show you now how I calculated it. So the middle is at 25.5 centimeters. Our last increase we did at 19 centimeters. So the difference is 6.5 centimeters. So starting from the middle, we have to knit 6.5 more centimeters. So middle 25.5 plus 6.5, it will be exactly 32 centimeters. And also I want to to show if, for example, you decided to make a needle at 24 centimeters. So it means that from 24 we will need to subtract 19 where we did our last increase, so it will be 5 centimeters. And now 24 plus 5 centimeters, it will be 29. So those who did a needle at 24 centimeters, you will have to knit, to continue knitting like this until 29 centimeters, and so on. So it doesn't matter where you decided to make a needle, you know now how to make those calculations. So in my case, let's meet with you at 32 centimeters, where we will start to do decrease of stitches. First decrease of stitches. Guys, I knitted already until 32 centimeters, and I stopped on the back side. You should do like this as well. It looks like this, but at this moment headband looks like this, and from the front side it looks like this. Okay, and now we will start to do first decreases in the headband. I made for you a scheme, so it will be absolutely easy for you. So I painted as I could headband. Okay, so we made three increases, and now we have to do 3 decreases. So first decrease of stitches we will do now on 32 centimeters minus 6 stitches, and those who knitted until made the needle at 24 centimeters, so they had to knit 24 plus 6.5, so it would be 30.5 centimeters. And now we will do decrease minus 6 stitches, and then those who have, like me, needle at 25.5, next decrease we will do at 37 centimeters. And those who have now, who stopped now at 30.5 centimeters, you will just have to add, so here we added plus 5 centimeters, so plus 5 centimeters. And it will be 35.5 centimeters. Until that length you will have to knit after this first decrease. So we will decrease now on 6 stitches at the back side. Our pattern currently from the back side is 5 knit stitches, 1 purl stitch, 5 knit stitches, 1 purl stitch. So in each such series of knit stitches we will knit together 2 stitches. At the end we will have, currently we have 37 stitches, so 37 minus 6, 31 stitches we must have. First we don't knit. I propose you to knit, so the first out of those 5 knit stitches we will knit it. And now those second and third we will knit them together. So we stick a needle in both into stitches, just pick up yarn, drag it inside and release, and that's all. We made a decrease for one stitch. The rest of stitches from this series we will just knit. Now, according to the pattern, we have to purl one stitch, so we purl it. And now again, next series of knit stitches. First one we will knit, and that second and third we will knit it together. Okay. And the fourth and fifth we will just knit. I will show you one more and then you will do it already by yourself. So now we again have just purl stitch according to the pattern, so we purl it. Now again series of knit stitches. First one we knit, and then the third and the second we knit it together. Fourth we knit, fifth we also knit, and so on. And the last stitch we as always purl it. So I decreased for 6 stitches. I must have now 31 stitch. Let's calculate. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 31. And at the front side we as always knitted as previously according to the pattern, so we will purl those stitches. So we continue to knit like this without any increases or decreases until 37 centimeters for those who have a middle here, and until 35.5 centimeters for those who have middle at 24. So let's meet with you at 37 centimeters. I knitted, guys, until 37 centimeters. So now we will have to decrease for another 6 stitches like we did it previously, and we will meet with you again at 43 centimeters, and there we will do the last decrease. I knitted, guys, until 43 centimeters, and I'm on the back side to make the last decrease of stitches. So I will do that decrease, and I will be knitting like from this side eight centimeters, and it will be the end already. Guys, I knitted already until the end, and I knitted from the last decrease, I knitted 6 centimeters, not 8, because I tried on myself and I decided that it is enough already, that 8 centimeters will be already too much. And now we will be sewing our edges. As you remember, here we have open edge, so when we will take away this blue yarn, we will have the stitches, and we will sew it together with these stitches at the other edge. So I'm not closing those stitches. And now I will need a sewing needle, and I'm gonna use for sewing the tail of yarn which I had at the beginning. Okay. And now so first of all, I will pick up stitch from this side, like this. And now I will use scissors and I will delete one by one from each stitch this blue yarn. Be careful so you won't lose any stitch. Okay, so I will cut it here. Okay. Here I have first stitch from this side and I'm picking it up too. And I drag the yarn, and now I pick up stitch from the next stitch from the other side. And I drag the yarn inside. And now next stitch from this side. Okay, from this side. Okay, I will just cut it with scissors. Okay, so I have next stitch from the beginning. Okay, drag the yarn, and now next stitch from the other side. Here it is simple. And drag yarn inside. Now next stitch from this side. Okay, it's I guess that this is the stitch. Drag yarn inside. This is the next stitch from the side with blue yarn, and so on. I think you already understood the principle. So do like this until the end. Okay, sewing looks like this. I finished sewing, guys. As you can see, it looks really good. This is from this side, and from the other side, like this. Also, it looks good and accurate, invisible, I would say. So that's why you can wear it. You can wear this headband both sides. And now I will just hide tails inside I hid, guys, already one tail of yarn. As you can see, it looks really invisible from this side and from the other side too. And I will show you now where I was hiding it, so you can use. I have here one more tail. So I was hiding it from this side in these cables and in between of them, like this. Okay, I will turn it. Here. And now here, pick up those stitches, like 3 of them, for example, and drag it inside. And let's check. So from this side it looks absolutely fine, it's not visible. And now again I will hide it inside this next cable. Also pick up inside like 3 stitches. And drag it inside. And now between cables again pick up 3 stitches and drag it inside. You see, it's not visible. And so on until the end of the yarn. And we are done, guys. We finished our headband. It looks great from both sides. From this side. And now from the other side. And it looks great, sewing looks great from both sides, and it won't be visible. We finished our headband, guys. I'm sure you will be wearing it with pleasure. And see you in the next videos, where we will be knitting other beautiful things for you. Warm and nice. Bye bye, guys. Bye bye.